Have you ever noticed that the more evidence you give to someone, the harder they defend their position? And if arguments were really about truth, then providing better evidence should be enough to make us willing to change our minds. But most of the time, the opposite happens. Maybe we're not defending the truth, we are defending our identity and who we are.
Being wrong isn't the problem. We don't actually hate being wrong about everything. If someone corrects me about something meaningless, I can just check it and realize I was wrong and move on. For example, if I say the population of a certain city is this much and the other person says, no, it's this much, and I realize I was wrong, we just move on, So being wrong itself isn't the problem. The problem starts when being wrong says something about who we are.
The more I thought about this, the more I realized I do this too. So, since I was 16 years of age, for some reason, I had this strong image of this person that I did not want to become. So it's this typical corporate guy that works crazy hours, and even if you don't work crazy hours, but his life revolves around his corporate job. So in the end, I ended up in the corporate accounting world. Throughout my career, I heard the same advice. Take on more responsibilities, make yourself available, become an expert so people will need you, so you can climb the ladder and have a higher salary, and so on and so on. And here's the uncomfortable truth. They are probably right about this. If I played that game properly, I'd progress faster, and I would climb the ladder. But I resist it for some reason. Committing fully feels like I'm becoming the exact person that you swore not to become. It's like villains, good guys in movies becoming the villains, and people they swore not to become. And maybe that's partly true as well. And maybe that's not the whole truth, because as well it's the identity I carried along the way that I'm trying to protect. Maybe I'm not only rejecting the advice, but I'm simply protecting my identity, my personal history since I was 16 years of age. There is a moment when belief becomes identity. At first it's just an opinion. You say, I believe this, you repeat it, you defend it because you saw some stuff online or you did some research, and then you start making decisions based on this. And slowly people will start associating you with this belief. Eventually, I believe this turned into this is who I am. And that's when changing your opinion becomes harder.
Because once a belief becomes part of your identity, changing your mind isn't just changing an opinion anymore. It can feel like changing who you are.
And now you are probably thinking about someone else. But there's a problem with everything I just said. You are probably thinking about someone else, because usually someone who is not changing his mind, no matter how hard you tried, sticks in your mind more easily than yourself. It can be a colleague or a very close friend or a family relative or your dad, your mom, and so on. And you are thinking, that is exactly what they do. This is them, that I'm describing. But that is exactly the trap that you are falling into. It's much easier to identify someone else than to identify yourself, because we all do this. I didn't even immediately see mine. I really had to think. I was like, I cannot find anything that I didn't change my mind on it. But in the end, it's easier to excuse yourself and be merciful towards yourself than towards a friend or someone else. So instead of thinking about someone else, ask yourself, do you do this? And I'm probably sure of it that you do this too. You can do the test right now. Are you actively listening in order to understand what the other person is saying, or you are listening in order to give a quick response and defend your position? Which makes sense, but still, are you actively listening? And are you genuinely evaluating the evidence that the other person is giving? And what if the other person had the same opinion as you? Would the evidence, the same evidence, would you agree with it just because it suits your opinion? And the thing that is even harder than that is, what would it mean if you changed your mind about this? Having strong beliefs isn't the problem. Having an identity isn't the problem. Some things absolutely deserve to be defended. The problem is when protecting your identity becomes more important than discovering whether we are actually right. If we genuinely care about truth, we should leave open the possibility that we are wrong. And next time you're arguing with someone, ask yourself, am I right? Are you defending your identity unconsciously? And ask yourself something harder. What would it mean if you were wrong in the end?